Hi, Achim here from InnerSpace Explorers. I know it's been a very, very long time. It's actually the longest break I ever took, and I'm sorry for that. Um, and at the same time, thank you very much. I got so many questions on Facebook, emails, WhatsApp, if I'm okay, and that was really heartwarming, so to speak, to see that a lot of people really care and were worried because I didn't post any videos. So we had a fatality in the family in shortly before Christmas, and I got really, really sick, and took a while to recover. And in all this mayhem, we were also moving with the family. So um, yeah, that was rough. And regarding my dive stuff, it's in boxes somewhere in the new house. As you can see, it's a complete different background. So we are in the new house, it's still a complete mayhem, and it will probably take another 2 or 3 weeks to sort everything out, and then also be able to go back into diving. So the last video I've been posting was about solo diving, and that led to a lot of feedback. A lot of feedback on YouTube, but also a lot of comments, questions, and remarks that I received on other platforms. And I thought it's probably a good thing to go back to that topic and talk about it again, because it's obviously one of these love or hate topics. A lot of people said, I love to dive alone, it's way more fun, it's easier. I dive alone because I don't have a dive partner, I don't want to care about somebody, etc., etc., etc. A lot of reasons. And at the same time, there was so many people that told me this is completely wrong and you should not post something like that, and this is not safe and this is very dangerous. So the opposite side. And I think we need to figure out, and I think we really need to talk about, why do you think this is more dangerous than diving with a dive partner? Of course, the general concept of don't dive alone, dive with a buddy is understandable and is common sense, so to speak. So you have a second person, so if something happens to you that you cannot solve yourself, there's another diver in the water that can help you. The question for me is always, is this person swimming next to you a dive partner, or is it just another diver? And from my personal experience, finding a dive partner is the most difficult thing in diving, a proper dive partner. And so let's define what a proper dive partner is. So in my opinion, and also let's forget about swimming around in 10 meters of water on a sunny day on a reef in Florida, watching funny fish, and if something goes wrong, in the meaning of I'm low on gas, there's somebody giving me assistance going back to the surface. So let's say we talk a bit more challenging dives. So it does not necessarily have to be aggressive technical diving. That's a complete different topic again. But let's talk about a 40-meter dive in a cold lake somewhere in the mountains. So more challenging and probably a bit more demanding, more advanced. So a dive partner would be somebody that you know very well on a personal level. So a person that you can trust based on experience. So diving with my wife, diving with my sons, diving with a long-term friend that I know beside diving for a long time and I know very well. This person should have around the same training level that I have. First of all, to do the dive, but also to be able to perform on the level that dive is. So the person needs to be able to assist in a stressful situation physically and psychologically. So the person should not back off if something bad happens, like, ooh, I need to save myself. the person should be able to handle you as a person. So the big guy with 100 kilos and the 40 kilo girl diving together, he runs into an issue. Is she able to drag him out of water? Or is she able to handle him if he's unconscious and not able to help with the recovery or whatever? So these are all things you need to take into consideration when you talk about a dive partner helping you in a potential stressful situation. And if you're honest with yourself, it's really hard to find that person. So let's say my wife, who is a diver, and I love to dive with her, but on a lot of these dives, she would not make a good dive partner because she's not diving on my level. So there might be dives where she's already on the end of her comfort zone, so to speak, and I still think like, this is fun. So that's a very uneven composition of two people in the same on the same dive, and it's not good. She would have real issues handling me if I'm unconscious, for example, like getting me out of water is most probably not possible. On the other hand, I trust her 100%. She would probably do everything she could to help me, so which would make her a perfect dive partner. But yeah, to get all these requirements into one person is super, super challenging. So now you can obviously argue, okay, then, well, I can't do that dive. Yeah, of course, it's always an option to not do the dive, and I'm completely fine with that. Actually, I teach that. So if you have any doubts, don't do the dive. You can always come back and do the dive. But if you do it and you don't feel well, bad things might happen. So what's that risk diving alone? What is that situation that you cannot solve on your own? So the worst thing that can happen to a diver obviously is he's not able to breathe anymore, which means he's out of gas. So being out of gas means you have either very, 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 very bad luck. It's like this 4-engine aircraft that has an engine failure on all 4 aircrafts. Well, yeah, it falls down. Or you're extremely stupid. And I know a lot of people will hate that, but that's the truth. If I do proper gas planning and I dive a redundant system, let's say a set of doubles, how can I run out of gas? How? It's basically not possible. Tell me in the comments how this should be possible. So I go in, I make a proper plan. How much gas do I need to make a safe ascent in a stressful situation with a raised RMV, without a body in that case? And I follow that plan. So let's say this is 100 bars. So I can spend 100 bars of my double 12 and I need 100 bars for a safe ascent, considering all possible issues. Okay, so I watch my SPG, I'm 100 bars, I start my ascent. All good. So it's basically impossible. So I have this exploded hose, this exploded O-ring, this terrible failure in my gear. It's a redundant system. I go through my drill that I learned, shut off my valves. I reserve half of my gas. If my planning is correct, I'm still very well within those limits, and I do my ascent. So no issue at all. Nothing that I would need a partner for, right? So in fact, I would need more gas than I reserve for that partner. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you go solo diving because you have more gas for yourself, but there's no benefit in the meaning of, okay, I need this other person to solve this issue. So the only thing where I can see potential benefit of a dive partner could be a really bad entanglement. So if you entangle yourself really bad in a net or a fishing line, I had a couple of these, bad visibility, wreck diving, current, Baltic Sea. I was always able to free myself, but it would have been easier most probably if another person that's not entangled that has a better view on the situation could grab a knife or a pair of scissors and cut me free. So yeah, okay, but the question is always, what environment are you diving in? Is this a potential hazard? So the other thing is this medical issue. You get a heart attack, you get a stroke, you get God knows what. O2 seizure, something like that. My personal opinion, there's probably a handful of people that can really solve an issue like that and get you back to the surface safely if it's more than a 5-meter dive. So if I'm on a technical dive, I'm swimming around on a wreck in 80 meters of water, I get a heart attack, yeah, in my personal opinion, and again, tell me in the comments if you have different opinions. It's all fine for me. I'm the last person to say I'm right and you're not. But from my personal opinion, if that happens, you're dead. You got a heart attack while you do what you love, you die, well, that's it. If you want to avoid that, stay on your couch. And I don't really see how a partner could help you there. O2 seizure, all these things. I mean, the O2 seizure, we are back on dive planing and breathing the wrong gas at the wrong depth. That's a complete different can that I actually don't want to open here. But if this happens for whatever reason, again, finding that dive partner that gets you up with an O2 seizure from a technical dive or from a more advanced recreational dive is, in my opinion, super unlikely. So let's break this discussion down. And if you have been commenting on the last video and you are like, oh, this is not good, please get back on this video as well. Let me know what you think. Why is this dangerous? Why do you think a partner is more helpful? Think about the things I just mentioned. Ask yourself, is this really true? Do I really endanger myself going on my own? And also think about this psychological thing. I know that a lot of people told me in the past, I don't want to dive alone because I don't feel well. I'm diving like a night dive in a quarry. We had such a good laugh. There was this quarry, it's actually doesn't exist anymore, not so far from where I live. And we went night diving there a lot. And then sometimes people did solo night dives there. It's an 8-meter quarry, nothing. There was a lot of eels in there, a lot of plants. This was actually quite scenic. And it doesn't matter who it was. Everybody at some point in this dive was turning around with the flashlight. Oh, is there something behind me? And I mean, think about it. It's like you walk through the woods at night alone. I mean, what? I mean, Germany, right? No bears, no predators, whatever. There's nothing. I mean, probably some other crazy person walking through the woods alone and probably scared as well as you. So there is no real danger. It's your brain that plays tricks on you. So swimming alone through this quarry, and at some point, like, is there something behind me? There's nothing. There's a couple of eels and a couple of fish, not bigger than that. But it's you having all these things in your mind, the last movie that you saw, the God knows what. So in reality, there is no danger. So it's the same thing. If you do this dive in let's say a bit murky water, a bit deeper, whatever, it might be you that feels unsafe because there is no other person. But is this other person real safety, or is it just basically betraying yourself because you consider yourself being safer than without that person? And would this person be able to help you in case something happens? Think about it. I think it's a great topic. I love this. Let me know what you think, and see you in the next video. And this time it will be next week. Bye bye.